Hi guys, Rishi Sunak met with the National Farmers Union and representatives of supermarket chains on Tuesday to find a solution to the rising cost of food. Not really, but he needs to pretend to the public that he's working on this. According to the UK government's own figures, which I'll leave a link to, Britain exported about 1.2 billion in agricultural goods in 2021. However, it imported about £3 billion worth. Now, EU countries represent some of those markets, but while prices are increasing in Europe, Britain is facing an extra rise for a number of reasons. This caller to Nick Ferrari's show aptly named it a cost of leaving crisis. Have a listen.
You know, I say this as a Liberal Democrat for over a decade. I mean, I kind of supported them in the coalition and holding the Tories back at that time. But this supermarket bashing, you know, this is what Ed Davies should have been saying, right? Cool. 7 years ago, we had a referendum about the European Union. Everybody in the world, the International Monetary Fund, the World Bank said, look, if you do this, it's going to devalue your currency. Half of our food is imported from the European Union. A significant amount is imported in dollars. When we devalued our currency by 26% as a result of Brexit, it increased our food costs by that similar sort of amount. Mm-hmm. Now, the supermarkets for years have been absorbing those currency fluctuations. They've been absorbing their increases in supply costs, and you can look at that from their annual returns and their P&Ls and their balance sheets over the last few years. They've been absorbing that, and their profits have been reducing. So they've actually been saving the consumers from this cost of leaving crisis, and it's a result of leaving the European Union that our costs are increasing. Energy is traded in dollars. The same thing with our energy prices in the UK. They're much higher here than anywhere else in the world as a result of us devaluing our currency. And Ed Davey is the leader of the Liberal Democrats saying his only job is to get the Tories out. Well, he could go and work for the SNP then, couldn't he? Or the Green Party, or UKIP. As long as it's getting the Tories out, what the hell is he on about? This is the Liberal Democrats he's supposed to be representing.
It's a valid point. What the hell is Ed Davey doing? Shouldn't he be talking about Brexit? Shouldn't he be talking about getting the UK back into the European Union, to get eventually back into the single market, to undo this damage? But he's not. Even Ed Davey, the leader of the Liberal Democrats, is not talking about Brexit. Now, I understand for a lot of people, they just want to move on from Brexit. But if people are asking, why are we paying so much more for our food in the supermarket? Well, you have to blame Brexit for part of that. It's not all down to Brexit, but Brexit is adding a cost that European countries are not facing, those in the EU. So being outside the single market, and as the UK imports so much food, this is an extra cost. It's, as we saw during the weather event in Morocco and in Spain, EU countries were at the front of the list, the front of the queue when it came to getting supplied. The UK was at the back of the queue. Some businesses decided not to export tomatoes, for example, to the United Kingdom because it wasn't worth the hassle. And we've seen over the last number of months and years how it's become more expensive for businesses in Britain to import and more expensive for businesses in Europe to export to Britain. So this is something that should be highlighted by the Liberal Democrats, but they're not doing that. It is a cost of leaving crisis that should be highlighted, but for some reason isn't. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think about all of this. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.